Very good afternoon to you all. Welcome back to engineering graphic class. This is Professor Anand here. So we have already started with isometric projection, wherein we have solved different types of problems. So today I'm going to solve another two types of problems. So we'll see what those kinds are. One is this problem which you are seeing right now on the screen. So there are three rectangular slabs. Each slab is having a different dimension. So the question says the slab is having 100 cross 60 cross 20 mm. So this is given with respect to its length, breadth and height. So length is 100, breadth is 60, height is 20. In the same manner, it, the second slab is 100 cross 40 cross 20, and the third slab is 100 cross 20 cross 20. So these are the three different slabs whose isometric projection drawing has to be. They are placed one above the another in the ascending order of their width b. So according to their width b, it has been placed in its ascending order such that their longer axes are coplanar. So draw the isometric projections of the combination. So if you take the longer axis of this, which is nothing but its length, so he says that all the lengths are coplanar, and according to that the drawing has been done. So if you look here, the front view and top view is given. So this is the front view. If you look into this, here first base is 60 here, that is this is nothing but the breadth of the slab. So from the front you can see the first slab is 60, second slab is 40 according to the question, and third slab is 20, and the lengths of these are given as 100, 100 and 100. All are having a length of 100 mm. Now to do these kind of problems, you can go with two different approach. One approach is you can start drawing the slabs one by one. For example, in this isometric view, you can first draw the first slab of 100 cross 60 cross 20. You can complete one slab first. On top of that, you can draw the second slab, and on top of that, you can draw the third slab. This is one method. Another method is you can initially draw this front view only. So whatever this view you are seeing, you can just draw this initial front view, and after from this initial front view, from each corner you can give a length of 100 mm. So these are the two different methods which you can follow. So let us see. I will try to do by the front view method because the first method is easy, you know it. You just have to do first 100 mm this side, then 20 mm above, then 60 mm on the other side. So that you can do easily. So let me go by front view method. How to do that? Let us see here. Okay, coming to AutoCAD now. Right, so this is the isometric grid sheet what we have. So let me first draw only the front view of that isometric what we have seen in the drawing. So let me start with the base now. So in the base, the breadth was 60. So I will take 60 mm first. From this particular point, I will start, let us say, and I will go 6 units across. So 3, and this is 6. Okay. Now height is 20. So from here, this side it is 20, and from here, this side it is 20. So this is the first slab. Next slab is of 40 and height is 20. So if it is 40 length, it means I should come 20 from this side, and then I should go 20 from not 20, sorry, only 10 10, because total length is 60. So if I want 40 in between, then I have to come 10 from this side and 10 from this side. So if I come 10 from here, 10 from here, in between left is what? 40. So this is the breadth of the second slab. Now we'll give the height of the second slab. Height of the second slab is also 20. So I'll go vertical 20, and then from here I will go again vertical 20. So this is the second one. Now coming to the third one, third slab breadth is 20. So it means I need to come 10 mm from here and then 10 mm from here. So this is 20 left out here. This is the breadth of the last slab, and the height of this is again 20. So from here I will go 20 above, and from here I will go 20, and then join it back. So you can see that I have drawn the front view in the isometric, which we were able to see in the PDF file. So the front view says this is 60, this is 20, this gap in between is 40, height is 20, this gap in between is 20, and height is 20. So I got the front view of this. Now once you get the front view, the only thing you need to do is from each corner of this front view, is each corner you have to draw the length of the slab. Length of the slab is 100 because already breadth and height I have drawn. So for first slab, breadth is 60, height is 20. So this I already done. Now from here I need to go 100 mm length for this slab. So let us draw the length. So from here it is 100 mm. So this is 3, 6, 8, and this is 100. Now from here height is 20. So this is 20, and then back to 100. So this is the length of the first slab what we have drawn. And similarly this part is also the first slab only. So from here also I will draw 100, 30, 60, then 90, and 100. Then I will join it back. So from each corner of this front view of the slab, just keep on going 100, 100 length. So from here again 100. So this is 30, 60, 90, and this is 100. Join it back here. Now from this corner also go 100. So 30, 60, 90, and this will be 100. Okay, this is not 100. Counting mistake. From here. So this would be 100. Join it. Then similarly go from this side 100. So this would be 100. So I'm just counting 10 units, and from this corner also you are supposed to go 100. So this is 100. Okay. So this is how it looks, and from this corner the behind is 100, but I can see only this much part. So I am joining to this particular line and leaving here. So this is the isometric projections of the three slab which is given. So it's very simple. First I drew the front view. In the front view I have taken width and height. So this is 60, this is 20, then this width is 40. So from this side I have come 10, this side I have come 10, again gone height 20, that is the second slab. Third slab breadth is 20 and height is also 20. So from this side I have gone 10, this side I have gone 10, so that this becomes 20. Then from here 20 height and join it. And from each corner of this side I have gone 100 mm length because all three slabs are having 100 mm length. So from this corner 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, and join their ends. And from this side it will be hidden because the observer is looking from this side. So when he is looking from here, this part will be hidden. So just draw the line till here and then point it up. So this is another kind of problem which you may come across. Okay. So now let me show you one last type of problem which you may expect in isometric projection. Let us see what kind of problems can come across. Okay, so coming to next type of problems. So these all you can do easily. Yeah, this kind of problem. This is a very simple problem. It's just a block. It is a block of rectangular block. So from the top view, if you see, this block is 100 by 80. So if you look the top view, this is the top view, this is the front view. So if you look into the top and front view, you can see the block is of 100 cross 80 and the thickness of the block is 30 mm. So what is the difference in this problem is here in between this block there is a square of 40 by 40 which looks from the top, and this square is actually cut to its full depth. If you look in the front view, they are shown here with a dotted line. So this dotted line indicates that there is a cut along its thickness. So the cut is for completely 30 depth, 30 thickness, and it is a square of 40 by 40 from the center. So from the center, it is a square of 40 by 40. So first I need to draw the rectangular block. Then from the top face, I have to draw a box of 40 by 40, and it is a cut inside there. There is no addition of material, there is removal. So I need to show this particular cut section here. So let us try to solve this. This is a simple one. Only thing is, till now we have seen that all the elements were joined upon one another. Here you have a cut section of it. Just a small cut is there. So let us look how to draw it over here. So coming to layout, different layout. So it is a rectangular slab of 100 cross 80. So let me start. You can take 100 on one side, 80 on one side. It is up to you. So I'm taking 100 on this side. So this is 100, and then 80 on other side, 80. So this side also it will be 80. And then back to 100. So this is 100 by 80. Thickness is 30 mm. So from each corner, 30 mm thickness, that is 3 units vertically will go. So 30. And then from here also 30. Then you will join all the top face of the boxes. Okay, that's it. So the hidden edges will not be shown. So these are the hidden edges of the box. This I'll remove. So this is a block of 100, 100 by 80, thickness 30 mm. Now there is a cutout in this box. From its center, it's a square of 40 by 40. So first let us locate the center. So to locate the center, you can draw just lines from its total distance. So this side it is 80. So here, so I'm just trying to find out the center here. From here it is 100. So the intersection, this is the center. Now with this center, I have to draw a box of 40 by 40. So it becomes simple. From this center, I have to go 20 mm this side. Okay. Then from here, I have to come 20 mm this side. Right. So this will become a box of 40 by 40. Okay. So I just identified the center. So I wanted a box of 40 by 40. So from this center, I have gone 20 this side, and then from 20 this side, 20 this side. I got this one line. Then from here 40, 40, 40, like we used to do in the previous problems. So I'll delete these reference lines. Now this line, this box what we have drawn here, it is a cut of 40 by 40. So I need to show the total cut here, and the cut is for full thickness or full depth of 30 mm. So first I will show the cut mark. So from here, I need to go 30 mm down. If you see here, from this corner, I have gone 30 mm down because the cut is to its complete depth 30 mm. So once I go from there, then from each corner here also from I am supposed to go 30 mm, 30 mm and 30 mm and join all the points. So let me show that. From here, this is 30, from here 30, and from here also this is 30. Then we are supposed to join the bottom faces. So once you join this bottom face, now you are supposed to erase the hidden edges which are not visible. So when you look from this top, this face is visible, this part cut is visible, but these lines, these three lines are actually inside the block. So these three line, this line, and this line is inside the block, which will not be visible to the observer. So these lines you will delete. Then out of these two lines, when you look from here, you can see the depth till 30, and this line you can see till this part and this part, but remaining the part which is inside the block will not be visible. So we will trim those lines. So you can just trim those lines. So this becomes your final projection view, right? So you can see that if you get used to it, you can directly just draw 30, and from here and here you can join and leave it. Just to show you that how the hidden lines will come, I just joined across all the three corners and tried to show you. So this is another kind of problem which you may expect in isometric projection. Okay, so with all these problems, I can say that I have covered all the varieties of isometric problems which may appear in your exam for manual sketching. So till now, whatever we have done, whatever we have studied is all with respect to how to draw these isometric drawings manually, how to draw them manually in your isometric grid sheet. So from now onwards, I'm going to start to show you that how the same problems can be solved in the software. Okay, so till now whatever we have done, it is only how to do manual sketch. Now we are going to see that how to solve it in the software. And before I move, if you have any doubts or clarifications regarding these problems or any other problems, you can please ask me. Okay, so we'll start solving now same problems. I will show you the options how you can solve it in the software, right? So in the software, to solve it, you don't require isometric grid sheet, so it can be done directly. Now, if you have notes with you, you can just make a note of the things what I'm going to tell now. So before you start with the isometric drawing, you need to switch from rectangular mode to isometric mode. That is the very first step. So how to switch from rectangular to isometric mode? Just see here, you just need to go to OSNAP settings, just type OS in the command prompt, press enter, and here go to snap and grid, and here the snap type will be rectangular snap, change it to isometric snap. You need to change from rectangular snap to isometric snap. This is a very important step. Without this, you cannot draw any isometric drawing. So just do OK. So now you can see that before the mouse pointer is coming like perpendicular, like plus symbol. Now it has changed. It is coming in different aligned direction. It means that you have entered into isometric mode now. Now what you are seeing here, this orientation is actually isometric right plane. So as I told you in isometric, you have top plane, right plane and left plane. To change the direction of the plane, you have to press F5. Function key 5 you have to press to change the orientation. So which see here, if I press F5, it has changed to isometric top. If I press again, it has changed to isometric right. And if I press again, it has changed to isometric left. So you need to press F5 button to change its orientation. Now second important thing is, before you start isometric drawing, always keep the ortho on. Ortho should be always switched on. Don't forget this. These two things you have to keep in mind. First thing is you need to switch from rectangular grid to isometric grid. Second thing is please keep the ortho on always. Okay. Now let me solve the very first problem which we did. So there is a cube of 50 by 50. On top of that you have a sphere of 50 mm diameter. So just take the line command directly. Now start drawing the cube. So from here I will draw the cube, let us say. So from here I will go 50 mm. So if you look here, I am into isometric mode. I have switched on the ortho. Automatic the line is going with 30-degree inclination. So that is why I'm telling you, you have to keep the ortho on. If you switch off the ortho, if ortho is not on, then you can see the line will start rotating at any particular angle. So only if you switch on the ortho, then only it will freeze the angle to isometric grid sheet angle, that is at 30-degree. Okay, so now here I can directly give 50. Then I need to draw next line in the left side direction, but the line is continuing here. So just press F5 button. If you press F5, it will change its orientation. You can see now this is vertical. Press one more time, it will change its orientation. You can see here it has come to the left side now. Now 50, enter. Just move the mouse. You can see it is going down, but I want it on this side. So press F5. So it comes on the other side. 50, enter, and then join it back. So this becomes the base of the cube, 50 by 50. I just take line command, and from each line, now look here, I want a vertical line. So to change its orientation, press F5. So now it is asking what is the length, Q50, enter. So this line I can copy it, just right click, say copy selection from the corner, paste it on all the three corners of the base. Then join the line from top. Join all the faces. Okay, so these lines will be hidden. You can delete them. So this becomes a cube of 50 by 50, right? Now, very important thing to notice. So I told you that whenever you are drawing any drawing in isometric drawing, its actually scale will get reduced, right? But if I see here, if I see the length of this length of cube is 50 only. It has not changed. But actually in isometric view, the length should what? Get reduced by a factor of 0.8164. What happens in software is when you're drawing the drawing in isometric using the software, the scale taken by the software will be true length only. Whatever scale it is going to take, it is going to remain true length only. You are supposed to change this true length into iso length. You have to manually change the, once you draw the drawing, you need to change the true length of the solid into isometric length. That is very important. So what I need to do is I need to select the entire cube and change it to isometric length. So what I will do, I will select the entire cube, then I have to scale it down. So under modify tab, here you have modify tab. Under modify, you have something called a scale command here. This is scale command. You can see two square boxes, one within the other. This is scale command. So just click on the scale command. So it will ask specify the base point from where you want to scale it. So always select the bottom base of the drawing. So just left click on this once. So once you left click, if you see in the command prompt below, in the command prompt here it is asking specify scale factor. So by what factor you want to scale it? So the factor here is 0.8164. This is the, you know that isometric length 1 centimeter is 8.164. So here I'm going to reduce it by a factor of 0.8164. So you need to type that factor and then press enter. So once you press enter, you can see that the length has changed to 41. So this is the isometric length. So this step is important, which you have to do. If you don't convert it, then the scaling will be wrong because the software draws it to the true length only. You are supposed to change it from true length to iso length. So don't forget this particular step once the drawing is done. Okay. Now on top of this, you have a sphere of diameter 50 mm. So first let us find the midpoint of this box. Then from here, let us give the radius of the sphere. So midpoint of this box would be here. So this would be midpoint. So from here, I need to draw a length of 25 mm. Sphere diameter is 50. So I'm making it as 25. So now look here. Once I draw this 25 mm line, so this 25 mm line should also be reduced to isoscale. So this also has to be reduced to isoscale. So I'll select this line, click on scale command, click on the base of the line and give scaling factor 0.8164, enter. So it is also reduced to isoscale now. Now I have to finally draw the sphere, and I have told you that the sphere will never change its length whether it is in true length or in isometric length. So sphere is the only one object whose length will never change whether it is in rectangular mode or in isometric mode. So sphere you have to draw it to original length only. You don't have to reduce the length of the sphere to isometric. Please keep this in mind. So I will take circle and this is the center. It is asking for radius. Radius I will give 25, enter. That's it. So whichever lines are not visible to me, I am supposed to trim them. So I will trim these lines which are hidden. This is hidden. So that completes the problem. So now you can see that we have drawn the cube. So with this cube, on top of that you have a sphere. So I reduced the dimension of the cube to isometric. but the sphere dimension will not change. Remember that sphere will always remain to the true length. So you are supposed to show the radius or diameter of the sphere. So this is the diameter of the sphere. And once this is done, you are supposed to highlight the combination of solids. It means you have to make the combination of solids 0.5 mm thick. So line weights you have to use. Okay, switch on the line weight. You can see only the solid should be thick. So this is solid, it should be 0.5 mm thick. Okay, so I'll repeat once again important things to remember. If you want to come to isometric mode from rectangular mode, you'll go to OSNAP settings, enter, go to snap and grid, change from rectangular to isometric mode. This is first step. Second step, always switch on the ortho when you are doing the isometric drawing. Third step, once the drawing is done, reduce the drawing from original length to isometric length. And final step is to highlight the solids. And note, sphere will never change its dimension. So don't change the sphere dimension to isometric. Okay. So is this point clear? Is this problem clear? Any doubts you have in this? No? Okay, good then.
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Right. So I'll be taking one more problem and trying to explain you here how to solve it. So just have a look. I'll delete it and do it here itself. So let me take one more different problem. Okay, let us try to do this problem. Okay, so you have a cylinder. On top of that, you have a frustum of a cone. So these dimensions I will take randomly and try to solve it. Okay, so I want to draw here a cylinder first. Let us say cylinder diameter is 80 mm and total height is 100 mm. Okay, diameter of cylinder is 80, height is 100. So to draw the ellipse in manual method, we used to do what? Force center method. We used to draw a box of 80 by 80, then find the force centers and do it. But here in software, it is very easy. Only thing is just type ellipse, ELL, just type ellipse, press enter. Then you can see in the command prompt here, there is something called as ISO circle. You can see this option here, ISO circle, in the command prompt here below. So click on ISO circle. Then it will ask specify center of the ISO circle. So let us say this is the center of the isocircle. Just left click once and just move the mouse button. Just left click and leave, don't press and hold. So you can see I'm getting an isocircle, but this circle is on the iso left. I want it an iso top. So just press F5. This is on the iso right. Type one more, press one more time. So this is on the iso top. So this is how I want it. So now you give the radius of the isocircle. So you have to please remember you have to give the radius. So radius is 40, enter. So now you can see I directly got an isocircle in the software using ellipse option. Under ellipse you have isocircle. So now let us say total height of the cylinder is 100 mm, what I've told you. So what I will do is I'll just copy this and move it at a height of 100 mm so that I can do very easily. So I'll go to, first I'll select this isocircle. I'll go to copy command under modify. So copy here, just click on this. Then I'll copy from the center. Okay. So you can see this is the center. Just click on the center and you start moving the mouse. So it is going on the right plane. Press F5. See, it is going on the top plane now. Now I just have to give the length here. Once I move it on the top, type 100, press enter. That's it. Then press escape. So I got two circles. Then join the outer parts. So from here to here, you can just directly join them. Okay. So this is as simple as that. So now once you draw this, on top of this there is a frustum of a cone. Okay, let us say the frustum of a cone is having base diameter 60. Let us say height is 50 and top diameter is some 40. So let us assume that. So then I'll again go to ellipse, ELL, enter. So I'll select the center of this here. After typing ellipse, remember you need to select isocircle from the command prompt. Don't forget. Click on isocircle. Select the center of the ellipse. It is asking the specify the center of isocircle. So I need the center here. Okay, so this is the center. So from this center, press F5 and give radius 30 because diameter is 60. So this is the base of the frustum of the cone. Now the top face of the frustum of the cone is 20 mm in diameter and total height is 50. Okay, so I need to draw one more ellipse here of diameter 20 mm and total height being 50 mm. So what I will do is I will scale down this ellipse to 20 mm. So you know that this is 60, okay, and then the top diameter is going to be 20. So I'll find out what is the scaling factor. Scaling factor means I will do 20 divided by 60. So once I divide 20 by 60, it will give 0.33. So that is the scaling factor. So look here what I will do. I will just go select this. Then I'll go to scale command. This is the scale command. Click on it. Then I'll select the center of the ellipse. Click on the center. Now it is asking, now before you give the scaling factor, remember one thing, you have to click on the copy in the command prompt here because I want to copy this base and then I want to scale it. If you directly scale it, this base itself will get converted into 20 mm. I don't want that. I want to copy the 60 mm and then scale it to 20 mm. So I'll click on copy first, copy. So once I click on copy, now I'm going to give the scale factor as 0.33 and press enter. So now you can see that it has created one more ellipse which is of 20 mm diameter, taking this as the reference. So how did I find the scaling factor? Simple, 20 divided by 60, 0.33. So select this, scale, click on copy, and then you will get the new one. Now just select this, use the move command under modify here, click on move, click on the center of this ellipse. So press F5, press F5 button. Okay, sorry, select it, move from center, F5. So give the height now. So let us say height is 50, enter, right? So this is a 20 mm ellipse, height is 50 from its axis. Then you can easily join the other lines using the tangent relation. Okay, then which all is not visible to the observer, those has to be trimmed. So these are not visible to the observer, so I'll trim them. You can see that this is the problem. So you can see that using the tools whatever is available in the AutoCAD, I can very easily solve these kind of problems. Okay, so in my next classes I will be continuing on few more problems because there are still many different tools which are to be used to solve the problem. Yeah, before that, before you wind up this problem, don't forget to change this entire scale into iso length. That is very important because it is in true length right now. Select everything, click on scale, select at the center and give the scale command 0.8164. Please don't forget this. You have to change or you have to scale down the entire drawing into isometric drawing. Okay, fine then. So I will continue it in the next class. So the recorded video will be posted in your class group shortly. Okay, thank you then.